I think first we can focus and talk more about what's happening in the AI SEO space. I
A
think
lot have been changed in the landscape of SEO, right?
ML and AI terminologies are like all the Malay concepts of our space, and
As well as whenever I talk to different folks who was working in a corporate world in SEO field, right? Everyone is getting the same pressure. What are we doing about AIO or GEO or AEO, whatever you call it?
we have a lot of ingredients in front of us, and none of us know the exact recipe.
People are talking a lot about is LLM dot, TXT.
I think
When I was doing the research, I could find out there are four things, like probably the four pillars of AEO or AIO. One is
I
basically.
think so. There was an update shared by Lily Ray 2 days ago on the listicle abuse, and representing a brand on Reddit is, I think so, in my opinion, is a double-edged sword, because Reddit.
should people still be obsessed about listicles? Does the order in which your brand is mentioned matters?
It's not mandatory that you must publish a lot of listicles on your website. I've seen a lot of brands renting out the positions for like 6 months, 3 months, year. And if you're focusing on AEO, answer engine optimization, think about the whole journey of your ICP.
Do you even need an LLM visibility
That
tool?
I personally feel that we should wait for a while until there is something coming up from directly from Gemini or ChatGPT, like a console or something.
Hey folks, so we are back with another episode of SEO Unfiltered. It's been quite some time that we've done one, but I think a lot has changed since the last episode. Today with me is the same folks, Aditya and Parth. And I think it's a good time to do this podcast again. I think a lot has transformed in the SEO space. So, Parth, welcome to the show. And today, I think we have some interesting set of topics that we are going to discuss. Really excited to have you again.
Thanks.
I think the last one did pretty well for us. Almost 35 watch hours. So a lot of people uh, listened and tuned in, and I think learned more about your journey. I think hopefully few folks are inspired, and they'll be attending more events, doing more these consultation gigs, etc. Hopefully they got some confidence. Today I think first we can focus and talk more about what's happening in the AI SEO space. I think there's so many, from a B2B perspective, there's so many tools out there, so much happening. So yeah, I think we could discuss whatever our learnings are, and I think a lot of people are curious about what's the real impact it has had. So I'll give it to Aditya. I think he can throw some light as to what's happening, and then I think Parth, you can
Yeah,
add your
but before we
suggestions.
get started, I think so. Thanks for having me, and it's been a year since we connected, and it's always a pleasure when I visit Bangalore and when we three meet. I think so. We never miss a chance to record something, and it's always fun with friends Aditya and Himanshu. So yeah, excited for this one.
Same here. So Aditya.
Cool, guys. So, hey, Parth, it's been long time since we have connected
Yeah,
last.
exactly 1 year. Like we recorded last year, February. February is our month. Like probably we'll do again next February.
I guess Himanshu, we need to do it more often.
Yeah, I think
Sure, I need a reason to visit Bangalore more frequently. Yeah.
Yeah. Cooler, I guess, since as Himanshu mentioned, right, since last we connected, a lot have been changed in the landscape of SEO, right? AI have came into the forefront, right, and it's doing amazing. Recently, we have also seen that Cloud Coworks have been introduced in the market. A lot of tools have been introduced. Being in a corporate world, the pressure is also coming on. Us, as well as whenever I talk to different folks who was working in a corporate world in SEO field, right? Everyone is getting the same pressure. What are we doing about AIO or GEO or AEO, whatever you call it? So it's coming to all of us, and but I personally feel that there is nothing concrete as of now. It is more like it's like a bubble. It's just growing up, growing bigger, but I feel there is nothing actionable that we can do. What I personally feel, if you're doing core SEO fundamentals perfectly fine, you should be okay to go into the war whenever the things come up. Right, there are a lot of tools, but nothing gives you result with a perfection. Though a few tools, and then there are multiple, methods by which tools also operate. So we'll talk about tools probably later on. But yeah, I have been doing SEO for a long period now, and we all have been doing this. Let's start talking about AIO probably, and we can divide it two. Basically, AIO is one part where it is about coming into the AI overviews of Google, and then second part could be about LLMs, which we call it GEO/AEO, that how to
Yeah.
optimize your website or content to perform better on LLMs. So what are your thoughts, Part? What are your thoughts on it? Is there anything you're doing apart from your regular job, or any experiments which you have done so far?
Yeah, I think so. Since last 12 months, it's been a year. There are a lot of advancements happening in our space. Specifically, there are a lot of acronyms: AEO, GEO. I think so. It's a lot of information out there, and keyword research is getting a new name, and people are doing query fan out and stuff like that. So I would say all these ML and AI terminologies are like all the Malay concepts of our space, and yeah, we should not ignore them. But at the same time, we have a lot of ingredients in front of us, and none of us know the exact recipe. So we all are trying our best based on the industries that we are working on, based on the competitors in that space for the brands that we are working on. So we are trying to analyze and get back what's working and what's not working. But from what I understand, and from what I foresee, the future of this space is, I think so, going forward as an SEO, like there'll be multiple AI agents across platforms communicating with each other. So a particular brand's presence on their own brand asset, like the website, and then Reddit, and then multiple different niche communities. So how these agents communicate it, like intercommunicate and get the data out of it. So that's the whole game, and yeah, I think so. It has made our jobs like quite efficient overall, but interesting space to be in. And yeah, there's a lot of noise, so it's our job to focus on signal versus noise, and probably be more productive.
Cool. Sounds good. Uh, there is one term which is term, or what should I call it? Like a thing people are talking a lot about is LLM dot, TXT.
I think it's bogus. So yeah, I think whatever I have learned, I think that doesn't work. So I think I actually attended at least 3-4 webinars around this. So folks from Graphite, the Ethan Smith, and then the Hrefs guy Ryan Law, and a lot of people have given their um, this thing around this. I feel I think today, as of now, a lot of these tools that have come out, be it Profound, be it AirOps, you have Waterly.
Yeah.
There's I think tons of tools that have come out, and HRs themselves have their tool. I think that's what $700 a month. So I don't know if brands will be able to derive that amount of value out of these tools. I think my hypothesis is key. I think people have been over engineering a lot. And I think until and unless something like a ChatGPT comes up with like a search console of their own or something like that, it's very hard to track prompts and etc. Right? And I think the major flaw I see is the way these tools
Mm.
are trying to understand the search prompts and the volumes, which is very difficult to
Yeah.
predict, right? So what I'll do is, I think it will be a good thing is I'll uh, I'll share my learnings. You both folks can tell me ki whether this is something which is true, it's working, or this is bogus. I think Aditya mentioned about LM.txt. I don't, whatever I've heard is it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that's not something one should wrap their hand around. Uh, I'll start. I think one thing which I felt, which is also true, is LLMs in general, and I'm not considering AI overviews, but LLMs in general like fresh content. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. What, like,
Yeah, I think so. The content freshness matters a lot. I was attending this particular webinar a couple of days ago where it was hosted by Search Pilot, and
Okay.
and I forgot the name. I think so. There was a guy and a lady, and then they were having this conversation that she experimented. So on their blogs, they had two particular parameters. One is published date, and the other one was modified date. And she ran an experiment where she removed the published date and she just kept the modified date on their content, and they genuinely went ahead and modified a lot of content every single month. And after a 3 months testing phase, I think so, um, a lot of content was being picked up, which was refreshed on a regular basis. So from her experiment, I'll probably name the webinar in the first comment, so you can check it out. But from our experiment, what we figured out is that um, content freshness is a very good signal, and Google gets confused when there are two dates, like published date and modified date. So you can just keep one date and keep on updating it. So yeah, that's one of the recent
okay, so
findings.
I think the biggest
Yeah,
takeaway is if your content is fresh, it's going to be picked up by search engines.
yeah.
And by freshness part, do you think it's about uh, just changing the date or making content really updated?
Uh,
Uh,
no, I would recommend never do that. Like, just
okay.
change the date. Like, always go ahead and track uh,
What's
what are
changed?
the static part of the content, what are the dynamic part, what are the factual data, numbers, or any particular statistics that you have mentioned. And yeah, if there are any advancements, or if your CMO or CEO or someone has gone on a podcast and added some details which is interesting, you can always piggyback it back to your content, and you can add more details to it. So it's all about like updating the format, and at the same time adding some more context over a period of time. So only if you can add genuine value, then only update it, like not for the sake of updating the date. So yeah, that's my take.
I guess forceful, refreshness is also not required. Like, not every content needs to be updated. There are, for example, there are few facts pages you have, or maybe some product pages which seems to be,
Yeah, glossary pages.
yeah, they
Yeah,
they no, not needed. You have to update it on a regular
yeah,
basis.
Definition won't change.
Yeah,
yeah,
wherever the freshness is required, or anything new come up into the particular field, there you
yeah.
can definitely
Totally
update it.
makes sense.
Wherever it doesn't make sense, no need of forcefully update of the content as well. I guess it is same as what we were doing even at SEO as well, right? We
Yeah,
were updating. We all know that Google loves the fresh content. It's same as LLM does. Like,
yep, yep,
everyone
yep.
does the fresh content, right? So yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I think that's clear out keep fresh content. LLMs love fresh content. I think the second learning I had was uh, LLMs don't consider, and I'm not talking about AI overviews, but LLMs don't consider authority at all. In the sense, uh, unlike Google, which prefer like backlinks from authoritative sites or overall authority in a space, uh, LLMs don't prefer that in the sense when citing it. So, a blog which is just a year old might be cited as one of the top sources for something maybe very demanding, or which is let's example, let's say in the health space. For example, if let's say I create a blog, it's 6 months old, I talk about protein powders, for example, and it can pick it up and show, okay, hey, yes, ChatGPT will say, yeah, this is the
Yeah.
best product. So is that true?
Um, I would say there are multiple different models. Like the one for AIO is a whole different thing, and
Correct.
one for the Gemini is a different thing. So it depends. The citations that are on the AIO and Gemini could differ. ChatGPT could differ,
Mhm.
but uh, I've seen people comparing products, and there are very random marketplaces which are ranking on the third, fourth, or fifth page of a CRP showing up.
Mhm.
But that's one of case. I would say the brands that are showing consistently across models, across platforms, and then the frequency also matters. So once your brand is being cited, probably 3 out of 5 models or 6 models, that's a good number to kind of probably success KPI metric. So yeah, that's my take.
I have a different perspective here. We were working on this presentation
Hmm.
on overall LLM part, to show in our office as well. And while I was, creating that presentation, I've gone through multiple articles, read about it, and could find one single common thing, which was called as brand authority, which was playing a very major role when it comes to mentions,
Hmm.
in the LLMs. And I had a word with one of my friend who have done some experiment also around the brand authority thing, and it worked out pretty well.
Hmm.
So when I was doing the research, I could find out there are 4 things, like probably the 4 pillars of AEO or AIO. One is basically your tech part, second is your content, third is your brand authority, and fourth is your brand ORM. Right? We can deep dive into this later on,
Yeah.
but brand authority really plays well. For example, there are and you can even change the results also very quickly. For example, right now when anyone talks about what are the top 10 stock market trading apps in India, and you launch a recently pretty new brand, right? You go into the sources, you publish 10 articles, listicles around it, and you try to edit those existing citation article, and your names will start popping up.
Yeah.
Though your brand is pretty new compared to the brands which are there from last 10-20 years. So brand authority does impact, but it is like the same era when backlinks was playing a major role in SEO part. Ki you build a backlink, go heavy on backlink, and you will start ranking. It is same like you spend some money on your PR, you try to associate your brand with certain entities or terms, and slowly and gradually you'll start, LLMs will start mentioning you. Even in my landscape of real estate, I have seen on certain categories there are very small players who are doing a very niche work. They're not into a proper real estate, but there's a category in it and they're just working on it, and they are always mentioned above our brand. So we have seen it happening. I'm trying one experiment also in this thing to overcome it, and once experiment is successful or fail, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, I feel brand authority plays a very very important role in this.
Absolutely. I will underline all the points by Aditya, and I think so. There was an update shared by Lily Ray 2 days ago on the listicle abuse, and I think so that's going to change because we as SEO practitioners, I don't want to generalize things, but yeah, we were doing a good bunch of link exchanges. ABC link exchanges and whatnot. Now, I think so since last 6 to 12 months, a lot of practitioners moved to listicle exchanges, and that was working really well. But I think so Google is trying to patch it. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Cool. But I think in some ways, smaller brands also can expect this. In the sense, I think unlike SEO, where let's assume, like coming on to Aditya's example of top 10 stockbrokers, I think like for a smaller brand, ranking for stockbroking app in India would be very very difficult. But I feel ki when it comes to LLMs, they still have a chance with enough buzz, PR as you mentioned, and enough noise in the market. I think they could rank and come up and get some sort of visibility. But again, I think the learning will be key. Brand authority still plays a definite role, and I think this is one thing where brands need to focus a lot on is focusing on brand. I think is one of the something that definitely helps. uh Coming to the third.
One point to add here, which I've observed recently, is those who are starting new in a particular space, whether it's stockbroking or the real estate space, if a particular uh, person is passionate about that industry and he or she might have started a Reddit community or probably um, YouTube or an Instagram page, and then they have been doing like decently well engagement on Instagram for like last 2 years, maybe YouTube for 2 years or that community for 2 years, and then they get their website live, and then they publish content. I think so I've seen success with those particular websites where it was easy for them to tap on the organic visibility on the YouTube platform or Reddit platform, and there they have built some authority, and then they have their website, and then they put out their textual content. And I've seen a little bit more success with respect to those players. uh, but yeah, I think so multimodal content and playing around with other things, so Wikipedia, YouTube, Reddit are the most common cited platforms. So yeah, starting the other way around also helps for sure.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, actually my third point was same in the sense whatever data we could see. I think the recent data shows that YouTube is the
Hmm.
number one cited platform, uh, and the second one is Reddit. Again, PR is equally important as well. So would you for anybody starting out, would you recommend them focusing on these two channels first and then going back to other channels?
Mm, yeah, sure. I would recommend. I think so. It's easier if you put consistent effort. Like there's a whole playbook on how to uh, kind of be successful on Instagram platform or YouTube platform or probably Reddit. There's a clear playbook. You publish content for 100 days, consistency. Like don't even miss for a single day. Uh, Try multiple different formats of content, and by the end of 100 days, like you will know that these are the 3-4 videos that have gone viral beyond 10,000 views, 50,000 views, and then you can double down on those formats. So that's going to work for sure, but it requires a lot of perseverance, it requires a lot of consistency, and the content you choose, and a lot of things to be put in. But yeah, sure, why not? Like multimodal content, it's easier. Just don't um, focus on website and textual content, because now is the time. Earlier there was no scope. We always had to do a lot of experiments on the brand website asset, and that could lead us to some or the other Google penalty or penalized by some of the core updates. But now we have a lot of external platforms to play around, so if we kind of mess up there, it's not going to affect our main playground, our brand asset website. So yeah, uh, that's my recommendation.
Any tips do you have for Reddit? Like,
Reddit, I think so pure play, genuine game. Like it's not an easy playbook. You'll have to put in a lot of efforts. Uh, there are legit ways to do karma farming, and you have to put in a lot of value with respect to the content that you add. Similarly, how we do on LinkedIn as well, like you reply, you help in comments, you reshare, you produce content. And the best thing about Reddit is like you can never get penalized with AI content, because you can always improvise on storytelling. So you can always put content that you can think of with a clickbait title. That's okay, like that's ethical. Like you put a very good story on Reddit, and like you can get good karma. But it's nowhere like a short timeline, 2-3 months. It requires easily like 12 to 18 months to build a community, and then that requires almost not a full-time but half-time effort daily. I would say 4 hours a day dedicatedly, like, and then that's also a lot of effort. So it depends on how you want to tap on it, and um, there are a bunch of tools in the market to kind of capitalize on Reddit, but it's still a gray area, so I wouldn't recommend any of those. There are a lot of folks who reached out to me in last 2 months to check out their platform, but yeah, I'm not confident, so I'll not comment about it.
Aditya.
Yeah, I guess Reddit. It is like there are two things which you can do as a brand.
Hmm.
I'm thinking from a brand perspective. One is there are multiple subreddits on which a lot of discussions happening around your brand.
Hmm.
Right, people are sharing their journey about your brand, or maybe their experience about your brand. It could be positive, it could be negative. Second could be that from a top of the funnel perspective, that there are a lot of queries coming around the industry types, like maybe hey, I want to, for example, in my case, somebody is searching for moving to Bangalore and they're asking for, hey, I'm looking to rent out a flat in HSR or Bangalore. How should I find, which platform should I recommend? And then how do, as a brand, I seed my brand in that conversation. That is one thing. One is that when we talk about the first part, when it is about the brand story or journey, there definitely, if it's positive, I'll appreciate. I'll reply as a brand, and I'll thank you that particular candidate. Hence, it gives me a build. It kinds of build a good karma for my brand from an ORM perspective. When it is someone talking about this top of the funnel content, and then I can't go as a brand and mention myself, and Reddit, being Reddit, it's very strict about it, and I'll definitely go. But the thing is, how should I build a good community? So what I was thinking around it is that, why should a brand, like, why not a brand should create their own community on Reddit, where people can talk about their brand, particularly any questions around it, and you can pick maybe few superstars, like a few good guys who represent, who had a very good experience, and they can start working for you guys to go and talk about their experience and recommend your brand also in those top of the funnel queries. That is one natural way, because there is nothing you can do. You can't do a lot of
over engineering is very, very difficult.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long term
very hard.
play. You
Yeah.
have to build a real customer base, like a happy customer base ka journey, and then you have to scale it from there. Maybe you need to like, give them something, early access to your product or anything, whatever you in whatever field you are in. But Reddit is a big thing, and it's a big part of the ORM part as well, right? So
ORM is like the overall sentiment for a particular brand can be like checked through Reddit, but representing a brand on Reddit is, I think so, in my opinion, is a double-edged sword, because Reddit is such a platform where people
It's ruthless.
The freedom of speech is to the next level, and people share a lot of candid. Very be like, we have to be very, very careful when we represent a brand page or a brand. But the safer way around would be not representing the brand, but a very candid account where it's putting that particular brand in between of those conversations in a subtle way, and kind of an evangelist, but it should be more of 80% helping that particular community or industry, and just 20% one of the times like putting out the brand name in between, because Reddit is ruthless, as Himanshu mentioned. Like, it's difficult. If it goes the other way around, then it's difficult to control, because negative things spread faster than the positive. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword. So yeah.
I think like I see it in two ways. For example, let's say a small company just starting out wants to do something on Reddit versus a company which is already there. For example, if you see and like Claude, right? So I'm sure that maybe Claude created a subreddit, but it's all run by actual people, right? Because the tool is so much good.
Yeah.
There's a brand there. Same with Lovable, same with Replit. A lot of ways I found. For example, similarly in India space, there's Emergent. For that also, I was like, when I was exploring the tool, I wanted to understand what are people actually doing with these tools, right? Understanding more this thing, and I found there is a subreddit for Emergent, but I think it's not maintained well, or there can be a possibility that not a lot of users. So I think a lot of this will be organic if you have a good product, if you have a good brand in place. And I think people will obviously, with all these things, negative sentiment is also there, which is fair. I think no product is perfect. And in the second aspect, I see smaller brands where I think it will be a little difficult. Again, you'll have to be very cautious, and as you mentioned, you'll have to give it time. It's not something like you'll be able to do it in a month or 2 months, or by hiring somebody on Fiverr or something. It'll be a little difficult, so you need to take baby steps in that way, and then see how it actually works. I think, as you mentioned, genuine answers, genuine content, storytelling, something like where you've put in some effort,
Yeah,
will definitely see more value, and I think you'll get instant
absolutely.
reward.
One thing I think so, the branding and the community team can spend some of their efforts towards Reddit. So two things here. A, the product team, probably if we refer to a real estate brand, the product team can go out there and kind of scrap with the .json URL, like at the end of the URL, and scrap all the questions around real estate, and then probably find out some feature requests that could be added. So that's from product side. uh, on the other side, I think so, yeah, the community people, overall the branding team could go out and find out all the major tier 1 cities, communities, Bangalore flatmates or Noida, and all of those communities, and then kind of brainstorm a way into putting a lot of questions into those communities, so people come up, and then someone from your team could answer to the same question. So kind of doing it in a legit way, but yeah, you only bring that demand out there in the community, and then you only kind of answer in a subtle way. So that's another way, because there might be a lot of communities around tier 1 cities at least, and tier 2, like
Yeah.
roommates and flatmates, and yeah.
I think quickly wrapping off the whole Reddit thing, I think one thing you'll have to notice, people on Reddit are very, very smart.
Yeah.
So I follow Sneakers India subreddit, and I've seen, as soon as, let's say, there are 2-3 people posting about, let's say, an Indian brand. Obviously, nobody cares if you're posting about something like a Nike or a
Yeah.
Adidas or a Puma, but as soon as if they see 2-3 posts from comment, the people instantly know ki this is from the brand. Like, even if maybe it's genuine,
Yeah.
people are genuinely interested. As soon as they see this post, it's like, oh, there's a Comet person there. So they are really, really smart in that way.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Comet gets some visibility out of it, might as well, it's good. But obviously, people from Reddit are very, very. They'll check your profile. They see your activity. So they are very smart in that way. And if it's a mod or something, you will quickly be removed as well. So it's
They will right away, like sneakerheads active in that community for 5-6 years will directly probably comment there कि मतलब क्या ज्ञान दे रहे हो, मतलब तेरे बाप को मत सिखा, मतलब तुरंत बोल देंगे नीचे, मतलब
because it's, I mean, it's genuine, right? If a product is not good, and if the person has actually used the product, they've seen it.
Yeah.
So if you even create noise ki, oh, this is very comfortable, it won't work.
Yeah, you can't push it.
You can't push it. So I think
hence the army of happy customers will gonna work for you in a longer run. You can't feed in, you can't hire an agency to improve your ORM on Reddit. It's just that happy customers, who have used your product or services in past, they can tell that story in a much better way than AI writing a content for Reddit or someone just
I think so,
writing
yeah,
it for you.
brand advocates can like go ahead and kind of boast, or probably they are so happy about particular brand, and then they'll go out in these communities and fight with other people. Yeah.
so I think that was a good conversation about Reddit. And lastly, let me know if this statement is right or wrong.
Mhm.
Uh, if you are ranking well on Google, your chances on ranking on Google AI overview boxes are equally same. Is that true, or would you say otherwise?
um that is not true either way. If you are recommended in AI, that doesn't guarantee you rankings. If you are ranking, that doesn't guarantee you the AI synthetic answers. But I would say that if your tool, if let's take an example of a SaaS brand, uh, if you have got all the check marks, like if you have your profile on G2, if you have your profile on Trust Radius, and then you've got good social signals overall, and if you tick mark all the check boxes, then there are high chances that you will get mentioned in the top tools, best tools, and blah blah blah. But what I would recommend is being a brand, uh, try to understand your target customers, try to kind of segregate your ICPs and mention every single detail about it on your homepage as far as possible and on your main landing pages. So the details that you mention could be part of those elongated prompts or the follow-up questions of those prompts if they are not getting the right answer. So if you have very minute details also mentioned, yeah, that's going to help. Having said that, I would say the brands who have been investing a lot of money into branding and communication since last 5 years, um, and even if they start SEO like today, they'll succeed like in 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line. So that's going to help for sure. But yeah, it doesn't guarantee the either way.
Uh, I guess it increases your chances. Okay. For sure if you are ranking in top 10 or top 20, but yeah, it's not guaranteed as Parth said, right? So, and again, your fundamentals should be done right to, like he mentioned, right, that your if you're a SaaS brand, then it should be listed on Capitera, G2 Crowd, and other such platforms, and your everything else should be done properly, your brand
Yeah.
PR and all, and then so if those things are done well, there are high chances that you might be ranking, and if you're ranking, it increases your chances also. It's not guaranteed, but I guess I was studying some research, and they were saying there are probably 50 to 60% sites cited in AI overview right now are coming from Google top 20 or top 12. I forgot the
Yeah.
number, but yeah, some results they had some research, but again, there is nothing concrete as of now. But definitely, believe it increases your chances as far as even I have seen the results
Yeah.
coming in.
Cool. I think quickly wrapping up this. So I had another question, and this is something that everybody has hypothesis on. Quickly wanted to pick your brains on this. First, should people still be obsessed about listicles? Second, does the order in which your brand is mentioned matters? Third is, does the does the text nearer to the brand name influences LLMs? I think these are the three questions I think a lot of people
I
have.
think so. Great questions. I'll start from the first one. It's not mandatory that you must publish a lot of listicles on your website. If there are listicles which are already ranking and getting cited, like just go out there. If you genuinely deserve a position there, go out, reach out, or like people have their own ways to get into those lists. So yeah, you know your game. And semantically, I think so. Yes, having some text around your brand name helps for sure. And what was the third question?
The position, does it matter?
Position, I think so. Position does matter in a way when people are kind of scheming through the list, but it's totally on control of the platform that they have mentioned. And I've seen a lot of brands renting out the positions for like 6 months, 3 months, year, and that's a game like you want to play or not. It depends. Or if you have authority on your website, if you have enough branding, you can have a listicle on your own website and you can outrank them. So there is a lot of competition and a lot of kind of leg pulling game going on in the listicle space. But yeah, it's an interesting competition overall. And yeah, what do you think, Aditya?
Yeah, I guess yeah. Matlab, to come in the citation, there are two things. I was just going through some presentation yesterday, and the person was using a term called owned and earned
Okay.
citations, right? So owned is basically when you produce a lot of content on your own website, which helps you to give citation, and earned is again the your brand mentions on. And I'll give you my example only about your last question, that there is a text along with the brand, does it help, right? So I call it like a USP thing.
Mhm.
And you have to establish your brand along with the USP to establish a kind of a persona against a brand. For example, in our case, whenever someone goes on ChatGPT and talks about what are the top real estate platforms in India, right, or prop tech platforms, so it will always mention, okay, it will always mention a brand name and its USPs. So it will always say, okay, 99 acres, it have largest amount of property listings. It will always mention no broker. Oh, it's you if you're looking for a broker for property, because that's how we have always propositioned our brand also.
Or when it initially started.
Started, right? So now what you have to do is that you have to always, it's not only about just getting your brand mentioned, but you have to also in a subtle way, you have to get your brand mentioned along with its USP, the way you want to proposition your brand, in the eyes of ChatGPT or Gemini. So it is, I feel, is very, very important. It is not only about just getting a brand mentioned. And I feel in current scenario, when it's a very early stage of AEO, Listicles does work pretty well. And as he's mentioning that there is a game going on, you rent a play space, it is always better to get yourself mentioned in the listicles which are cited in your space. But I feel if it is costing you a lot of money and it is not a competitive niche, probably you can spend some money creating listicles around it, or seeding new listicles also, or seeding new content around it in whatever way you can, just to try it out if it's costing you a lot of money. But yeah, that is a very easy game. You go ahead, you outreach those folks, and if you feel your brand deserves that space, get it listed, and you are easy to get cited in by the LLM. And I guess one question was there about the positioning.
Yeah.
I feel, I don't know, I'm not sure, but I don't think so it matters in any way, probably.
Maybe it takes out the average. Let's say it cited 4 websites, and let's say Ahrefs is mentioned in top 5 in all. So maybe the correlation, the mind would be.
I guess it is more about the journey of the user who's engaging with it. Let's say, and it also depend on the intent of the question he has asked for, right? For example, uh, if I am a trader, let's say, right, and I have asked a lot of questions about FNO, day trading, intraday trading on ChatGPT, my profile, and when I'm asking about a top trading platform, Stockpub, it might rank Zerodha, or it might rank a platform which is very known for a day trading and FNO. It doesn't matter in listicle what was my position, because it depends on my personal history, as well as, or if I am asking about a trading app for FNO purpose, right? Or if I'm mentioning I need an app from a mutual fund perspective, and it totally changes your game of how it lists out the app. So it depends on your intent of the prompt, as well as your back history, that how you have interacted. Even I've seen it in my case that when I'm interacting with ChatGPT on my office profile, and whenever I ask any questions around no broker or about real estate, it always gives me no broker on priority. Like it will give me no broker at first, or maybe in top 3. Versus when I interact with my personal profile or incognito mode, there are times when no broker is not even mentioned. So I guess the position doesn't matter in that way, probably.
And the position and the presence of a particular brand in a listicle, I think so it matters. If you look at the whole journey, if someone is searching for a listicle or top or best particular term or a prompt on any of the LLMs, so if there are 10 brands mentioned, like does your brand have common features with the other brands compared? What is the main title of best CRM software? So does it have all the common features compared to other brands mentioned in the listicle? Is your pricing along with that same offering? And so what I mean to say is there's not going to be a single prompt. There are going to be follow-up prompts. Compare the features, compare the pricing. So if you don't have a common feature along with the main competitors who are mentioned in that list, then your brand is not going to show up in that next follow-up thing. So it depends on the whole journey. So it's not about just thinking about the first prompt, but the follow-up questions as well. There is this particular study shared by Ellie Schwartz, the product-led SEO guy. Couple of days ago, like if you are focusing on AEO, answer engine optimization, think of first follow-up question, think of second follow-up question, think about the whole journey of your ICP, and try to be part of the whole journey. That increases your chance, because in the classical SEO game, I think so there were a lot of engagement signals with respect to the CTR and a lot of other signals, quality metrics when a user is interacting on your website. But here, there's a lot of discovery going on while the target audience is making a decision, comparing features, pricing, and whatnot. So, yeah, all of those things matter, like across the journey of the prompts.
Nice. I guess good take part from
Yeah,
your part. It is
very
really
important. Yeah.
very important.
I think we've covered the whole AUA topic. Any closing thoughts you have, or?
I think so. We can discuss something around tools. A lot of folks have questions around tools. So
Yeah, I think tools is something we should quickly cover, and probably, yeah, I think it's been more than 45 minutes discussing this topic, but I think a lot of people will find value. I think especially who's getting to starting out, I think a lot of do's and don'ts have come out. One important and whatever I could hear from the conversation is brand. So I think that's something that people need to keep in mind. Yeah, I think in terms of tools, um, I think first question, do you even need an LLM visibility tool? Does it matter?
fantastic question to start with. I think so. There's a lot of hype, a lot of FOMO going on in the industry. I would recommend that you continue using your classical SEO tool if you are subscribed to Ahrefs or SEMrush or whatever tool. Keep on using it. You don't need to subscribe to an AI visibility tool dedicatedly. Until and unless you are an agency or you have multiple clients who you have to show a lot of success metrics or AI visibility metrics, then and then only, like if you have enough revenue to subscribe to that particular tool, you should go about it. Otherwise, like there's a lot of ambiguity when it comes to tracking prompts or prompt positions or volume based on prompts, and a lot of features coming around. I would say do the basics, follow the classical SEO SCRP game. um, for example, if your traffic has dropped by 40% or 60%, then like 2 years ago, just make sure that whatever traffic that you are left with, like 50% of the traffic, just try to optimize on your conversion. Like earlier, if your conversion was 3%, how can you increase it to 5-6%? Like how can you double your conversion? Like try to maximize your existing organic traffic that you are still getting, and at the same time build a lot of systems around building a community, multimodal content, and keep on doing that efforts. Now coming back to tools, there are a lot of brands. If you are looking to subscribe, I have been using GetVisto. I've been using
Which one you mentioned?
GetVisto.
Visto.
Yeah.
Okay.
um, Interesting bunch of founders. Yeah, they're doing a good job, a decent job with respect to and then there are a lot of tools, LLM refs, Profound for enterprise. I recently got a chance to check out Peak AI, and that's also a good one. And they also have an interesting model where you have free trial for 7 days, and you can pitch to your clients with a AI visibility snapshot. And once you have your client closed in, you can then subscribe according to the client that you've closed in, and create a project. Similar type of pricing model is on GetVisto as well. So totally depends whom you want to check out and subscribe to, but don't go for it, don't rush for it until unless like you need some KPIs to probably report to your client or your manager. Yeah, that's about it.
And I think good recommendations there. What's the state of the search console like? I just heard there'll be some changes in terms of, let's say, people will be able to understand if they've been mentioned in the AI overviews box. What's the current scenario like, and what's the update going to be? Would be
So I think so. I use a couple of regex to figure out. That's what I am doing at this
okay.
point in time.
Mhm.
Apart from that, social mentions or some signals are also being shown. I have not tried that recently,
Okay.
but yeah, Aditya, if you have any
Any
thoughts.
recommendations? Tools? Quickly.
I haven't used any tool personally. I've tested profound
Mhm.
trial versions, but again, like nothing is sure right now. It shows me that I've been mentioned on this particular prompt 10 times, and I search that particular prompt from two different computers or laptops. I don't see myself over there. It is very difficult. I personally feel that we should wait for a while until there is something coming up from directly from Gemini or ChatGPT, like a console or something, where they at least give some data
Yeah.
to us, right? Until then, keep focusing on whatever you're doing from an SEO perspective, and do check your referral traffic. The traffic coming on your website from Gemini, ChatGPT, and Perplexity, they do share the UTM source along with the referral traffic, so
I think
it is
even
coming.
HubSpot does.
Yeah,
A lot of
so
tools
you
have
can definitely
done
check
this.
out your traffic. Do some small
I think
experiments.
you can also create a dashboard on
Yep.
something like a Google Analytics. I think it does.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Even we are using a tool called PostHawk, so it also
Hmm.
gives. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
better to get started with. Once you see that, okay,
Yeah.
you're getting a lot of traffic, so
So I guess, yeah, you just need to keep doing some small experiments, whatever you feel like, and monitor your referral traffic and see if it's impacting in any way. Though we can't see what prompts we are getting traffic from. We just see that it is coming from ChatGPT, Gemini, and so on. That's it.
Yeah, please do comment what are the different tools that you have tried and tested, and yeah, we would check the comments and reply back.
I think good thoughts and brainstorming around LMSU, AISU. I think this would be very useful to the listeners. I think just I wanted to wrap it up, and I think one thing that I just read about the problem is the whole space is like one OpenAI engineer goes and changes something, and everybody is ranking, everybody is so much because there's no clear
Yeah.
guidelines, right? It's all how do I say it, gut feeling and some correlation data, and the data sets are very small. So yeah, I think we'll close at that, and thank you so much for listening till the end. And just let us know what thoughts you have, comments, and
Please
we'd
do
love
like
to answer.
and subscribe.
Yeah, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.